Well, time now to get our experts into this deliberation. Chakshu Roy from the PRS Legislative joining us. Aditi Tandon, Associate Editor there from the Tribune joining us. Chakshu, your opening thoughts on this particular phase? Something that's different that we have seen from the previous 5, or something in particular, that makes this particular phase, interesting to look out for?
I know it's always interesting to, hear the views of the correspondents in the field. And one of the things that I noticed that each of them said is that the bouquet of candidates that voters will have a choice from. So in Odisha, there will be Mr. Bhartari Mehta, who's already served 5 terms in Lok Sabha, going on for his 6th term. So an experienced legislator versus first-timers in West Bengal or in Bihar. So that's one interesting thing that's, that this second last phase of polls has for us. And I think the other part is that as the election phases draw to an end, what is the strategy for political parties to campaign on these seats?
Okay.
Because in this day of 24-hour television, news media, social media, the electorate in these populations has already been exposed to campaigning across the other 5 phases.
Okay.
So what is the message that voters in these constituencies are going to be looking forward to? The last part that I would like to make a quick comment before I hand it back to you is that in the eastern part of the country, the regional parties have a big sway. And in the last elections, the ruling alliance was quite successful. So it will be, it remains to be seen. I don't like to refer to electoral contests as fights. So it will be interesting to see as to what the electoral contest between national political parties and regional political players, how does that play out, is something that we'll see in this.
Okay, let me get Aditi on board. I stand corrected from changing that fight to a contest. Aditi, looking at this particular phase of election, how do you see, at least Bihar, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh all have, seen this battle cry from phase 1 to phase 6. Does something different change? What's something that we need to look forward to?
See, what's very striking about this particular phase to me is I will watch out for the Tamluk constituency in West Bengal very keenly, and so will several political observers, simply because it was in Nandigram Assembly constituency of Tamluk Lok Sabha segment that Mamata Banerjee was defeated in the last assembly election by Suvendu Adhikari. So when we look at Tamluk, where the BJP has fielded a very interesting, controversial former High Court Judge Abhijit Gangopadhyay, who stands censured by the Election Commission for certain undignified remarks, is that it is not really a contest between BJP and TMC candidates. It's a battle of prestige between Mamata Banerjee and Suvendu Adhikari, the leader of opposition. So that's one. That's a very important takeaway from this phase in Bengal. Bihar, I want to mention. Anil, Bihar is a very interesting phase this time, because this is the phase where gangsters and their wives are ruling the roost, literally. I can count 3 from what your correspondents told me and from my little memory that I have. The first is, Shohar, where we have lovely Anand in the fray, the wife of Anand Mohan Singh. Anand Mohan Singh, who came out recently because JDU had tweaked certain prison codes to get him out early. He was facing life sentence in the killing of an IAS officer who had been killed in 94. His wife is in fray. Now you come to Shivan, which also your correspondent mentioned. Hena Shabab.
True.
The wife of Shahabuddin is in fray, and I think she is squaring the pitch for the RJD candidate.
True.
She is getting a lot of traction on the ground, is what we hear from the field. Because you see, Shahabuddin was the man who helped Lalu Prasad set up RJD in the formative years.
True.
Gradually what happened when Shahabuddin fell on bad days, obviously Lalu Yadav also kind of abandoned the family, did not even give any Rajya Sabha ticket to Hena Shabab. So she has actually jumped in the fray saying that I will take revenge for my late husband. And the third interesting seat is Vaishali, which is the first recorded republic in the world which is the birthplace of Lord Mahavira and the place where Lord Buddha delivered his last sermon. Who is in contest there? Again, a very famous gangster, Munna Shukla, on the ticket of RJD against a strong man's wife again. So it's a very interesting. I was hearing Chakshu, who was saying that we have experienced lawmakers in the fray. Of course, we have experienced lawmakers like Bhartahari Mahatab, who's a very diligent, extremely articulate MP in the fray in Odisha. And on the other hand, there is this very stark contrast.
True.
So there's this very strange interplay, which in a way, I must say, enriches Indian democracy, that there are all kinds of flavors at play.
Okay, Chakshu, looking at this phase, anything in Bihar, North Bihar, and also West Bengal, two states that we have seen this political pitch battle across the 5 phases. So, is there any takeaway that one can look forward to? Looking at 6th and also as we head into 7th.
I think the important takeaway from both West Bengal and Bihar would be that the electorate, so both West Bengal and Bihar are states where the electorate is very politically conscious. I'm sure Aditi and you, when you've traveled across the country, West Bengal stands as an outlier where newspapers are pasted at tea shops where people come, they have their morning tea or their afternoon or evening teas, and they read the newspapers there. So politics is almost in the blood of most people, where people actively follow candidates, people actively follow alliances. Aditi made 1 or 2 very interesting points, especially with regard to Bihar, which is the fray of strong men, and which then raises a question for a democracy as big as ours as to what is it the incentive that political parties have to give tickets to strongmen? Is it about winnability? Is it about making a point? Or is it about the fact that and why does the electorate elect some of these strongmen? Is it because they're able to get things done for the constituency on the ground? So these, add to the flavor of democracy. They are also reflective of what Indian society is. It has a range of people, it has a range of candidates, and what you see on the ballot box on a particular day is reflective of what is it that people are looking for in their public representatives.
Okay, Aditi, a quick thought, especially on Puri. This particular election in Odisha, winning Puri has become a matter of pride for all the players or all the political parties as well as the candidates in this election fray. Having said that, how does one take a look at 2 people there? Sambit Patra fighting on a BJP ticket, taking on Arun Patnaik, who's a Mumbai Police Commissioner, former Mumbai Police Commissioner in this election fray.
See, Sambit Patra of the BJP is somebody, you may not like him, but you can't ignore him. He makes headlines all the time, whether it is for the right or the wrong reason. So he said something and he's on a penance for that, which is a very good thing. I also am reminded that Sucharita Mohanty, the Congress candidate, suddenly pulls out of the contest saying, I have no money to run my campaign. So let's not forget the grand old party that once dominated Odisha's electoral landscape is in such terminal decline there. Puri's significance is not lost on anyone, Anil. It is a historic spiritual city. And obviously Sambit Patra is looking to win it after having lost it to Pinaki Mishra in the last election. And we get a sense from the field that this time, overall from Odisha, BJP is expecting huge gains. In fact, Odisha with West Bengal is one of the key eastern states from where BJP thinks it is going to expand its base.
Okay.
So that is the significance of Puri. Bengal again is very interesting. It reminds me of a small nugget that although of late Bengal has been in the news for poll violence, you might not remember, or maybe you have read, that India's first chief election commissioner, who put us on the terra firma of democracy by conducting the 1952 Lok Sabha election, was from West Bengal, was the first chief secretary of West Bengal, Sukumar Sen. So I have no idea how Bengal got where it got.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you. Appreciate both of you, Chakshu Roy and Aditi Tandon, for joining us in the studios.